Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the second segment of episode 122 of Sold with Updike Pugh.
You got it.
Man,
That was close.
that was close. So today we're going to talk about 5 of the really, really cool trails in Dallas. We have so many great trails in our area, but we wanted to highlight 5 of these and just give you a little bit of information about each one.
Yeah, and I think that it's so important because as Dallas has experienced with both Katy Trail and with Clyde Warren Park, Dallas really has a desire for outdoor space. And this is one of those ways that Dallas is really reinvesting in itself and creating a lot more elements that draw people here besides just the business and the economy. Mm-hmm. These are great elements that add downtown and uptown living space. And we're going to learn more about how they're adding value even into the further out markets as well.
And one of the first ones we were going to talk about today is the Rivershawn Park and the trails that are associated with it. You know, Rivershawn has been a city park for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And there are a tremendous number of short walking trails right around there. Rivershawn has ball diamonds, drinking fountains, outdoor basketball courts, a pavilion, and you have access to the Katy Trail, which we'll talk about in just a minute, through some of the connecting trails down there.
And Rivershawn is one of those interesting spaces is that it does a lot because it's its own set apart trail and park. It has the ability to host. Mm-hmm. And so you'll see, I think that one of the 5Ks terminates down there. And so it's a big ending point. I do know that they have yoga in the spring. You'll see that as well. And a lot of these softball teams actually rent out this space. So it's one of those areas of Dallas that has really begun a gentrification and really started to change. And so we're seeing a lot more use out of it. They've done landscaping, I believe, in the last 2 or 3 years. So there's a lot going on down here. It's one of those hidden gems that you really should check out.
Really is. And the second one we're going to talk about today is the White Rock Trail. White Rock Trail actually has several sections to it. You have the Northern White Rock Trail, which leads off from the lake heading out toward LBJ, Coit Road area. Then there's also the White Rock Trail that goes all the way around White Rock. And that is a little over 9 miles all the way around. That is a great bike trail. And the White Rock trails are so interconnected to everything else, getting to almost any other trail in the city is very easy.
And so this is a really great location in the fact that it really feeds to East Dallas and has really driven more and more people wanting that outdoor lifestyle because it basically is in their backyard. This area also connects to a dog park. So there's a small and a large dog park, and this dog park,
off-leash.
Yes, off-leash. And it also has an area that's great for the dogs that love to jump in the water so they can go in. So it's really interesting as you're on the trail and you get to go by and see all this. It's a great element. There's also a part that goes down by the dams. Not the dams. What are those things called on the southern side? Anyway, there's a whole great area down there, and there's a lot of birds. There's white pelicans that come in, I believe, in the fall that are amazing to see. So there's so much cool wildlife down there.
It really is. The third one we were going to talk about today that is one of the other gems of Dallas is the Katy Trail.
Katy Trail.
Katy Trail is about 4.5 miles long, goes from American Airlines Center all the way up to US 75 Central Expressway where it crosses over at Monticello.
Yeah. It's amazing because they actually built the bridge that you can see. I think it's at Mockingbird.
Mockingbird, yes.
It's very interesting. You see the white, almost mini Calatrava looking bridge. But this is such a great element to Dallas. And I think this is one of those ones that started to wake Dallas up because they realized what it did to the property values. The Buena Vista side that actually backed up to the trail, the values just shot up. And as you look down towards the American Airlines Center, you see all of the high rises that have come in and they have direct access to it. One of the favorite places to go hang out in the evenings when it's summertime, K-Trail Ice House. And all of these elements are really having the benefit and are there maybe because of the trail.
Absolutely. And it the Katy, we actually have a unit coming on the market that's got access to Katy Trail very quickly on Buena Vista.
Okay.
The specific unit is on the opposite side of Buena Vista, but it's right there at one of the get-on points.
Yeah, and it's such a great place. So the Katy Trail has also developed its own lighting package. They have their own security that they have on there, and then they also have their own 5K. And so you can see how, again, it's just become its own element that really feeds the people that live in there, and they love it.
The next one we wanted to talk about was the Santa Fe Trail, and many of these trails were originally rail lines. I mean, that is the abandoned rail lines that have either been moved to other parts of the city, or just they didn't need as many rail lines because we have so much trucking going on now. But the Santa Fe Trail is 4.2 miles long, and it goes from downtown Dallas through the Deep Ellum end of downtown, and then follows the edge of that rail line all the way up to the bottom of White Rock Lake.
It's interesting. So we rode this trail probably, 10 years ago. And so it's all the way, if you know where the 500X gallery used to be located on Exposition, it's right behind the get-on point is right behind that. And so it took us, like circling our bikes for about 5-10 minutes. And then we finally figured out where the get-on place was, because it was so new.
Yeah.
And it was really great because it's a really wide trail. And I was really surprised at where it terminated. Like you're like, all of a sudden you're in White Rock Lake. So it's a really great trail as well. So it's fun, and it gives the Deep Ellum access to White Rock that they might not have had if they hadn't gotten on the highway.
Yeah, absolutely. The last one we were going to talk about today is called the Campion Trail, and this one is to the western side of Dallas, almost into Irving. And the Campion Trail is almost 17 miles long.
It's a long one.
And it's not only, like point A to point B, but they have a lot of little sub trails off of that. Huh. And so I've ridden on this trail a couple of times, and it's really wonderful because you go through a lot of very forested areas. You go by a body of water over there. I think it's Lake Caroline that you run through part of it with. There is a lot of wildlife out there, really just a wonderful kind of get out of the city nature.
So this is the only one that I haven't been on. This is one that actually I'm reading here, it's Trinity River as well. So that one actually, the ones that we've talked about here all had cement pathways. Is this cement pathway or is this off-road?
Well, it is almost all cement pathways. Okay. There are parts of it that is still under construction.
And I would say at least the first 3 that we talked about are definitely pet friendly. You'll see a lot of pets being on leash walked. Is this one pet friendly as well?
On leash, yes.
Okay. Yep. So really great. I would say the biggest thing that we see here is that people really need to pay attention if you're biking in some of the more intense and crowded, especially Katy Trail on Saturday and Sunday morning. It's maybe not the best one to go on a bicycle. White Rock Lake is really better for biking. You can really see those large packs of the 10 speeds, like they're thinking they're Tour de France.
Tour de France.
Tour de France. You're just like, slow down. But it's a really great element to see.
And, one of the other great things about living where we do is these trails are becoming more and more interconnected, and it's providing hubs of transportation, modes of transportation for people getting to and from work. It's providing great places for recreation. There are a lot of soccer fields that are popping up around these things, basketball courts that are popping up around the trails. It's really providing, I think, a lot of really good enrichment to our living in the Metroplex.
Absolutely. And in the comments below, Zach, who is back at the office, will be putting in a link. There's a really great article that we found that's talking about, and we thought it was timely, connecting South Dallas into some of these. And it's a really great way to really incorporate all elements of Dallas and just makes us a stronger, better town. And he's also going to put a link in there that's going to be for the Pacer app, which is really cool because it kind of gives you an idea of where you've been, how fast you went, and how long you were there.
Yeah. So if you have any questions about any of the trails that we haven't talked about, or if you'd just like to get more information, certainly go to those links below and you can have it there.
Absolutely. And just remember, we want to be your realtors for life.